I'm Josie. I'm from the Philippines originally. I've been in the US for 22 years, but I call myself relatively new to Corvallis. We moved here in 2001 and boy, I love this place because the first people I met are these ladies. One of them is Caroline, Lena, followed by all of them. And it is such a great group of friends and I couldn't ask for more and I'm very thankful. I'm also thankful.
So nice to meet you all. What are you doing in here?
We have a conversation here to practice our oral English.
That's great. Are you coming every week here?
Yes, every week.
Twice a week.
Yes, twice a week.
Yeah.
That's
They're doing
great.
very well.
Okay.
This is Ing and that's Young. And I'm Marilyn.
Okay.
Yes, she's a good teacher.
And where are you from? From which country?
With both of us from China. Yeah.
Good. How do you like this center?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Provide many opportunities for us. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We know much information from here.
That's great. That's great. So it's a resource for you too to know what's going on here in Corvallis. Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck, ladies. Thank you.
You can see me all the time here.
Right.
Yeah,
I think conversation. I meet new friends and.
Taking classes, teaching like Mexican cooking classes.
And you have, I remember you have a great event. Is that the Day of the Dead or what was it?
Oh
when you
yeah,
teach?
yeah. We call the Dia de Muertos.
Okay, okay.
We celebrate this in Mexico.
Right.
It's one of the special festivities we have in Mexico, and then this is the place, or this is the time we just respect all families or friends who already passed away. But every year we remember them.
Oh, nice.
And we make bread, and we make tamales, and we make special dishes, and then we make big tables.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, you had a display here. It was very nice. A lot of people, the young people came. So and then you teach them.
Get together once a week and we practice English speaking conversation, and also we're doing some reading
Okay.
to get better at pronunciation.
Oh, that's
More
great.
words.
My mom recommended the center, and we're a knitting class that meets here Thursdays.
Okay.
And we sit and knit and talk to people as they come in and out. And we meet every other Monday and every Thursday, so
Oh.
we're here a lot.
So you really like the center then?
Yes, we
right?
do like the center.
I'm Belen. I'm from Philippines. I'm grateful for Josie to introduce me these beautiful ladies here and good friends.
Okay, I'm Vesna. I'm from Croatia, and I'm thankful for good health, great friends, and good food.
Gotta mention it. Cannot live without food.
That's right, that's right.
Hi, I'm Burke-Ann, and I'm from Sydney, Australia. And I'm very grateful for many blessings, but one of them is all my international friends, and likewise the food.
I'm Lagaya. I was born in the Philippines, but raised here, and actually bicultural, Filipino-Mexican. And I'm thankful every day for health to me is a priority, not just because I'm a nurse, but but because you don't like family evolves around anybody getting sick or sad, any kind of health issue. And I'm grateful for and thankful for Sydney inviting me, who she's not here right now, which I regret. She's not here with us right now. She's probably working. I met her through work, and she brought me to her house, and had several of the ladies here, and invited me finally to this house. And it's, I was talking last week. I said, every woman needs a yaya sisterhood.
Yeah.
And we're social creatures, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. Just that people don't survive as individuals, and I think a shoulder, a hand, a hug, a smile, a food brings smiles no matter what culture you are.
Yeah, that's right.
It's an international language right now. So
right here in front of us.
Just it's really been
to say a very special thank you. And where is Steve? Vesna, send Steve. Because
Steve's in the front.
Yeah, she's
See over there? Huh?
But so one thing, we have two special guests today who will, after we serve ourselves and we sit, Elizabeth will talk also about women, and we are both a club member from Sir Optimus International, and she talks a little bit about the women, how we help women here in the community. And then Trisha, she is talking a little bit about traveling, and I thought that's perfect, because we all like good deals, and I was amazed when I heard last week from a friend. A special thank you today, and that is Rina is one of the first ones who volunteered with the project. We met 12 years ago. We were neighbors, and our journey started then. And her birthday is today, so
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lina. Happy birthday to you.
Namaku cinta ketika kita bersama, berbagi rasa sepanjang usia, hingga tiba saatnya rasa dan tak tahu arah jalan pulang. Aku tanpamu butiran debu. Yeah, I think that's it.
My name is Maria Gonzalez. I come from Mexico, and I went to the Star School in Mexico for dance, culture, traditions.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Caroline, for inviting me to come today to share. My name is Joanne Stutzman, and I am here in Corvallis as the breast cancer nurse, and I know that breast cancer affects women around the world. And so when I heard from Caroline that she was having the multicultural ladies from around the world coming for lunch today, I said, can I come and share?
A lot of the things are related to food or to but lots of different places. A coffee grinder and lots of different coffee pots from different places in the world. Lots of different teapots. So there's some of those kinds of things, and then the practical things too. A kitchen is the heart of any house, and so to have a kitchen is wonderful. Then you're able to. People feel really comfortable, and we always have hot water on for tea, or people can make coffee, and that's another thing is you just invite someone to have a cup of tea. This is our room, and we call it the textile room. It seemed to me when we first started and we were setting up the rooms, they ended up getting a personality just because we ended up putting a cabinet and a lot of textiles in here, so it became the textile room, and then it's just grown. So they're things from literally all over the world, and people continue to give us donations. And as I said, Ivy has been inventorying these too as well. We have a whole collection of different kinds of hats, and there are some things that are clothing, some things that are just simply decorations. And for this piece right here is from Uzbekistan. These two pieces, and they were gifts sent to us because of a woman that used to come to the center here from Uzbekistan, and she really wanted to send us something special for the center, and so we got these two beautiful pieces, and another piece too. And then also something like, because this particular kind of dyeing technique, ikat, is also used other places in the world. So here's a shawl from Guatemala, which is also ikat woven and dyed. So it's some connections there too as well. So we try to make those different kinds of connections as much as we can. Great. There you go. From a collection that someone just donated all their doll collection, international doll collection to us. So that's been really nice. Musical instruments, just kind of, we keep gathering them, and people keep giving us things. And so what again I'm reminded here is that everything in the center is meant to be touched if it's at the level that it can be touched. So in other words, if there are small children, we expect that anything at their level or height would be that they're able to touch it. We want to make sure that it's a learning center and not a museum, and so people really enjoy having that opportunity to try things out. And remarkably, we've had very, very little breakage in the things. People seem to respect the items, and even though they're using them. If there's anything that we feel is precious or not really appropriate for being handled, then we put that up higher, so that is not something that somebody has access to. But most of the things that we have are things that anyone can have access to. So that's really fun. this room was probably, I think it was actually the first room that we started putting things in, because we got these bookcases and we said, okay, this is going to be the library. But because there were other spaces, this had been the medical examining room, so there were perfect spaces for children. And so it became the children's room too as well. And so we have lots of shoes from all over the place. One of the nicest things is that it's a really comfortable space for kids and moms. And I worked for a while just putting up a card table in the middle with a woman from Afghanistan who was learning English for the first time. And her children were playing and she was learning English. So it's a really flexible space. And once kids find this place, they after that they come here right away. They just know that it's here. And since we have Legos and a wooden train and a little school bus and sort of a play kitchen, they already know what to do when they get here too as well. Was sort of the last room that we put together down here, and it is our sort of language resource room. We have a computer with internet, and anyone can use that. We have lots of books for studying English, bilingual dictionaries in different languages, and materials, lots of dictionaries in English too as well, and different language learning materials. We're working to be a resource room or a resource center for people who are going to be teaching English out in the community. And Caroline wanted me to mention the baby bed, which has been used quite a bit. We are also a multi-generational center, so that we are excited to have people of all ages to be part of the center, and we really encourage it. That's why we really encourage the touching of things that are around, and not have children feel uncomfortable, or parents feel uncomfortable when their children are here too as well. So that's that's pretty much where we are. There are, this is a resource room just for storing things and things that are in between being used in the center, or it might be something that we use only on an occasional basis, and we're organizing a lot of our books so that we'll be able to find them when they need to be used for some class or research project or somebody, an individual. We have magazines that we subscribe to on a regular basis as well. And there's offices here, our office, and then this office is Casa Latinos Unidos that works with Spanish-speaking families. We have a classroom that, and also this can be a quiet room. The door can be shut for confidential conversations, or they can be used for small meetings. This room is a meditation room. There was a group that set it up when we first started, and they've been meeting. They just meet on Monday nights, but then they leave it open for anyone to be able to use. And oh, it's Maria. Yeah, so I'm coming. You can. She's taking a video. Why don't we put you in the video? And this is Maria, who does the Mexican folkloric dance group, and she's coming to get her costumes for some event.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, you always look like you're getting ready for some event. Ask them too as well. And then, but Maria has been here since the very beginning, and the group, that dance group, made, what was it, 900 tamales, and gave us a check for $600 to use toward the center even before we had a building. 1,000 tamales, and we got a check for $600 to use for the center. And so they have their, she has a costume room stored, where she stores her costumes. No, sure, why don't you open it? That would be great. It's really a wonderful resource here, and Maria does so much with all the different groups. So there's maybe you can just say, Maria, how many different dancers have used these costumes, you know, hundreds maybe, hundreds, yeah.
Yeah, like people today they had a costume show in also, and they usually costumes.
Yes.
So how many events do you have during the year for Florida dance?
Oh, I think like 100.
Yeah, there's a lot. Oh, probably 100 at least. Yeah.
60 to 100?
Yeah.
No, 60.
Look, this is. So you're heading off to one part of Cinco de Mayo things?
Yeah, we perform tomorrow in LBC.
Right.
In one retirement house.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday we perform in La Arquita restaurant. And Sunday in Jamaica, Quitburn.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Oh wow, you're always busy. That's great. She has wonderful costumes.
This is the Culture Exploration Kits Library, and it's a work in progress. It's a program that just started at the center this year, and Dee hired me to coordinate it. They're basically, each one of these boxes is like a small portable museum to check out. Any school group, any any teacher, any parent who wants to do an activity with kids in school, homeschooling groups, scout troops, 4-H. There was one of the retirement homes here is going to take one out. Any group in Linn-Benton County can take one out for free for 1 week, and they're on all different kinds of multicultural themes, and what they are, I'll show you. The Japan, they're just cool items. This kit is on Japan, so we have kimono. It's a summer weight kimono, it's not a fancy one. And then we try and have things in the kits that are old and new, so the kimono would be an example of something that's old, but like in terms of new things, we have Hello Kitty, we have some manga comic books, because those have been very influential in the United States, and we also try to relate the subject to things here in Oregon, so somewhere in here. There's this fishing float. These wash up on the beaches here still, and they wash all the way from Japan. So, and they're made out of recycled sake bottles. And then, like this thing, it's a really cool rice mold, and it was bought at an estate sale here from a family that we did some research, and the family was a Japanese family living here. They owned a grocery store in Portland, and during World War II they were put in an internment camp. So, so that brings me to the next thing, which is each item in the kit has a little information card on it, which is basically like, if you go to a museum and there's something interesting, and then on the wall next to it there's a plaque that has information about it. These cards are like that, and they just have a photo of the thing on the front and then interesting information on the back. So like the one about the rice mold, here's the rice mold, and then here's a picture of the grocery store that this family owned, and here's a picture of the internment camp that they spent World War II in. And there's a picture of modern rice molds and a rice panda in somebody's lunchbox. So, and like the one on the fishing ball has information also about the tsunami and how that's a hazard that Oregon and Japan share. And we have some really cool old things in the kit. When the light shines through it, you can see a face in the bottom of the cup. So what I do is I coordinate volunteers who are working on these kits, I do a lot of the research. There's a couple different volunteers who've done photography of all the different items. And then like I do things like constructing these cases. So, because a lot of things that come to us, they're not, you know, we want to make this so that kids can handle them. So this cup is like as thick as an eggshell. So little kids couldn't hold it and look through it without being in danger of breaking it. But, you know, like this, anybody can pick it up.
Very cool.
So, and the other thing about the kits is that they are all, this is the Multicultural Center, so they're all multicultural kids. So even in ones that are on a single country, there's an effort to show different populations within that country. So this is a sake jug from Okinawa, where the local people speak a different language and have some different cultural practices than the majority population in Japan. And this is a little musical instrument by the Ainu, which is also a population in Japan that speaks a different language that was indigenous and kind of had similar experiences to Native Americans of being displaced onto their land. So basically that's it. They are all on different multicultural themes. There's one on clothing in hot and cold countries. So in the modern stuff, there's like Arctic level gloves, and there's a grass skirt, and there's a burqa. And, there's one on how many nations has this nation been, which is has items representing the different tribal groups in the United States, and then the 6 European nations that planted flags here and claimed countries here. And then we're going to do one on immigrants, which would be the whole rest of the United States, of the people who didn't have countries here. There's one on the Philippines. There's one on currency, past currency and current currency. So it has shell money and tea bricks and cocoa beans and all these other things that we use as currency, as well as a lot of coins and dollar bills from all over the world. So that's basically it. I mean, they're basically like to explore different cultures through interesting tactile things.
Do you show also when children come for a field trip? Do you show?
Yeah, I would use them with kids. Like the last one, we had a field trip of 80 5th and 6th graders here, and I did the currency one with them, and we had an activity of all the different currency items, if they could put them in order from least valuable to most valuable.
Wow.
And there were some tricks in there where they didn't get them all right. They very much overestimated the value of currency and very much underestimated the value of some of the other things that were in there.
That's great. Thank you so much,
Sure.
Jeannie. That's
Sure.
great. Thank you. Very educational.
Hello, my name is Rusty Fernando. I'm an intern here at Casa Latinos Unidos, which is inside the Multicultural Center. I've been here for about 10 and a half weeks. I'm doing a lot of work and stuff like that, and I've learned a lot.
Hi, Rusty.
How you doing?
Welcome. And actually, I have some questions for you. So, how did you find out about this Multicultural Center?
I found out here at the Multicultural Center when I needed credit for foreign languages, and I just graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Social Psychology, so it was kind of dynamic that way. I'm pretty fluent in Spanish, and I needed credit to work with other people, and you know the influence that they have on the community and stuff like that. So this was a perfect fit.
Oh, that's great. So how long have you been in Corvallis? And I guess you went to the university and...
I came here from Arizona.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I came here and transferred here to play football. So I've been here for about 2.5 years.
Okay. And how did you like Corvallis and now the center?
Corvallis is real nice, especially, you know, from the transition from Arizona. It's kind of an opposite climate, and but it was a nice change. Corvallis is, you know, this real nice small town, and as far as working in the Multicultural Center, you see a lot of things that you'd see like in Arizona, because we have the high diverse Hispanic community. You know, we have the Asian community out there, which is just a real mixed blend of people. But we see that here in the Multicultural Center with, you know, we got the, you know, the Koreans or the Hispanics who will come here for Casa Latinos Unidos. And, you know, in the classes they offer, you know, it's really nice. And I'm actually kind of surprised at how much this place really offers.
So I was wondering how many people in this environment, in this office, usually are during the day?
We have 2 regular people on staff, and there's an intern like me.
Okay.
The leader, or you know, the supervisor of here is, her name is Erlinda Gonzalez-Berry. She's a retired ethnic studies teacher from the Oregon State. And then we have Yasmin Brambila, and she's working here too, and she's like her co-coordinator. And but we have, you know, we have people always coming in, and if there's not an intern like me, because I'm done, there's another one coming in next month.
Okay. So. And this house is open every day from 10 to 5, I believe, right?
Yeah, the house is open from 10 to 5. Casa Latinos Unidos is open from 10 to 2.
Okay. And do you know, is that now carried on, or, you know, spread now a little bit in the area, what you're doing here work-wise, and would you take that further in another city when you travel, or would you promote this center?
This center is real dynamic. It's we work with, you know, especially the younger generations. I used to be the supervising coordinator of the homework club at Linus Pauling Middle School, and I know Erlinda is working with the high school trying to get something started there. And we had a community forum about 2 weeks ago, you know, talking about, you know, the parent-teacher meetings on, you know, representing the Hispanic community, and I know there's other parts of the Multicultural Center that are doing things like that as well. They're sitting in on those kind of conversations. So, yeah, but I mean, when I'm in these forums, you know, I'm talking about, hey, like this, because I come from a different kind of culture. As far as Arizona, we have, you know, major Hispanic culture. It's, you know, it's more 50-50 compared to here, but I, you know, shooting out ideas, you know, that I could bring back, especially that I've learned here. Now I have more knowledge, and if I go back and if I want to, you know, manage something like that, I do have the tools to say, hey, like, this is what's worked before, and what I did at the internship, maybe we should try this. And so I think, you know, yeah, so I could definitely bring stuff from here.
Oh, that's great. So, what can you describe a little bit the programs they have here? What you suggested to people, or?
Yeah, the programs we have here for Casa Latinos Unidos. Specifically, we try to reach out to the Hispanic community, whether they're here in Corvallis or way out in Salem or Portland. We're here to help. So, you know, we offer a lot of things like Spanish literacy, and that's not just reading in English, it's reading in Spanish as well, because a lot of people that come in only know how to speak it, they can't read it, you know, and so we're trying to help both ways. And we go to marches, you know, pushing for, last one I went to was for healthcare, for migrant workers and stuff like that. And we're up to date with all the news that going on in the Hispanic community. Like, I think it was 2 days ago, immigrants are allowed to get licenses. They're helping them out. So, but we can help. We can do it in any way. We do from childcare to legal advice.
Okay.
So we kind of cover everything. At least if we can help you, we know someone who can help you.
That's great. And then did they have also events here in the center, in the, you know, cultures kind of events?
Yeah, we have. We've had, you know, different kind of events where, you know, sometimes we just call everybody up and say, hey, you know, let's get together. Let's make you know, carne asada or menudo or whatever you like. And the women from Olu work with us, and they're always cooking something or having some sort of event here, or whether it's here or they have it somewhere else, or something like that. So yeah.
So I know they have also every month they have one potluck, friendship potluck from around the world.
Yeah,
where they have a display.
Yeah, it's like every second Tuesday, I believe, and they have, you know, in the Multicultural Center they'll have, like, you know, they make different bread or different kind of meats from different places. And actually, my first day I came on one of those days. So,
but thank you so much for the interview, and good luck with your future, and all the best. Thank you. So I'm sitting here with Dee, and she is the president from the Multicultural Center, and she is actually here every day since 8 years and welcoming people from all over the world.
And probably I should say more a coordinator than a president, because a coordinator, because there's so many different people, we're a volunteer-run organization, so it's there are lots of people that have been involved with the center from the very beginning, such as Caroline, who thought it might be a really good idea to have a place where people could gather, speakers of other languages could meet each other. There could be opportunities for the things that actually happen here now, which is we have conversation partners, language exchanges, cultural classes such as cooking classes, meetings, different kinds of gatherings, informal, in sort of sessions with people, school field trips, citizenship tutorials, that kind of thing too. So the mission of the center is to provide a dedicated space for connecting people of all cultures in a way that everyone is a teacher, everyone is a learner. So that's kind of what we do here. Everyone is a learner. So that's kind of what we do here. And as part of it, we're lucky to have, we called ourselves the living room for learning, and we're lucky to have a living room to be able to do that in. And so that's been really wonderful to be able to do that.
And so can you tell us a little bit, so I heard from other people, there are really literally hundreds almost of people who come through these rooms, you know, all the place in a week. So is that groups or are these?
Oh, it's a real mix. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're groups. We had, for example, a couple of weeks ago, we had 80 kindergartners from one of the elementary schools, Lincoln Elementary, and then yesterday we had 48 OSU students. You know, so sometimes we have groups that come in here because of one nice project we're doing is a culture exploration project, and perhaps you have seen the kids upstairs. And so it just depends, but we figured out kind of roughly that maybe more than 5,000 people come through every year.
Every year.
Yeah, so that's kind of the, and we don't always tally very accurately, but that's the part that we can account for too as well. And then and there's special events, and then there are also after hours meetings and groups that use the center that we don't always capture the numbers and that kind of thing.
And these are groups from the community or OSU related?
It's a kind of a combination that the sister city, Gander Sister City, the Ethiopian Sister City group meets here, the board and some of their committees and that kind of thing too.
And it's also culture related.
Yes, we try to sort of keep it within the mission of the center, which is to connect people of all cultures as well. So.
And you connect also here in the community with other like art center and library.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do lots and lots of collaborations with other community groups. So the public health department, the library, the art center, Head Start. There's just any number of groups, as well as the schools and OSU. Okay. So we try to do as many collaborations as we can with different groups too as well, and you know, Crossroads and some of the other organizations in town that are related to other cultures.
Yeah. So you have open houses, and so how many a year do you have? And you know, can you mention a few of them?
Yeah, it sort of depends. We usually have an open house for our anniversary, which is in October, and we just had an open house last weekend to showcase the culture kits. So we've got that.
Okay. Yeah, and can you talk a little bit about the culture kits? I know Jeannie's not here right now.
I know, unfortunately.
But we will film the room upstairs a little bit. But yeah, can you tell us who benefits from that, and is it used in here or is it used in the classroom, or how?
Well, they're sort of museums in a box, and they're different items, different cultural items on themes. A lot of them are cross-cultural themes. Some of them are regional, but we're trying to do where we cross cultures and time in any given box. So there's one on tea, one on the Silk Road, one on gourds, one on hot and cold climate. So but then we also have on Japan and China and Philippines, and we're still processing. Right now we have 11 kits that are completely finished and ready to be checked out. And the idea is that they can be we're using it as an outreach because we have so many wonderful things in the center, and people didn't know about all of them, and also maybe they might borrow them but not know where they come from or what the context was, and so these kids give a context and a kind of theme for those, and then people can check them out in schools or scout troops or special, any sort of community group that would like to use them can use them.
Oh, that's
well.
great.
So that was really good.
And yeah, I saw you have also now more and more internships, so it's for young students, and they can benefit hands-on and learning.
Yeah, so we're lucky, but
community.
yeah, exactly, with OSU so close that it's easy for us to do some internships with them. And then also, other people doing community service, or maybe they need to do a project for school, and so that's another way that we can get people involved.
Right. And I saw over the years also more like retired teachers are coming out.
Oh, yeah, that's really lucky,
too.
yeah, so we're really, really lucky that we have a lot of really excellent experienced teachers that are getting involved because they've retired, and then since we are a volunteer organization, it's an easy way for them to keep their hand in education, but in a different way, and so we've really benefited from that a lot too as well, so that's good.
And then you have here also some events in the evenings, and then also during the day, like potlucks or like, celebrations like China. What is that? The Chinese New Year?
Chinese New Year, and there's some different kinds of things like that too.
So you decorate everything accordingly, and then I saw there's a room upstairs where they have clothing for the folklore dance.
Oh yes, absolutely. We house the costumes for the 4-H Mexican folklore dance group, and so that's really nice to have that here. And then they're always helping with whatever we're doing, and they open their costume room during our open houses so people can see that. Normally they're not available, so that's a really wonderful kind of thing too. And another thing that we do, I might have mentioned, was helping with citizenship tutorials, so people who are working toward their citizenship, but we don't do legal things, but we can help them practice for their interviews. And we think we've worked with 19 people from beginning to end with the citizenship, so that's good. We have, I think, 6 or so people right now that are studying, so that's really fun.
So it's really a resource center not only for foreigners, but it's also a resource center so they know what's going on in the community and programming and all that.
Absolutely.
So what kind of programs right now are usually on a weekly basis, or what you can say?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit different than a lot of organizations because what we do is we don't have a catalog of programs because it's participant driven, so it depends on who shows up and what they'd like to offer. There are some groups that use the center on a regular basis, a group that's reading novels in Spanish, beginning English class, beginning computer class. There's some different things like that, but sometimes it just
Chinese class.
There was one time. Yeah, over the years we've had a lot of different kinds of things too. So it just kind of depends on what people offer too as well. And sometimes we don't know until a couple of weeks before it happens too. So then we try to get information out on the website or posters here or people letting people know.
Right. Yeah, that's my next question. So how do you, the social media part or the, letting people know what's going on? So do you have a Facebook? Do you have
they do. It's been kind of an up and down thing, but we're trying. There's a couple of OSU students marketing students who are trying to help us, get that a little bit more stabilized, and then they're doing some help with the webpage and our newsletter.
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful too as well. So we're just learning as we go.
Right.
Which is sort of
and I think you have like one staff member paid for administration.
Yes. We have an administrative coordinator, and she's our only paid staff people. Everybody else is our volunteers. So that's, and so we get our funding from donations and we get the building on a very generous lease from OSU, but we need to maintain the building, and we do utilities and all that kind of thing too. But because we don't pay a lot of staff people, then we can also provide the resources for free to the community.
Oh, that's
too.
great.
So.
And I know there's one really good, friend of ours where we met in the very, very beginning, the the house was not even there, but Margaret, she was is still a big part, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Of supporting from the maintenance side. Or?
Well, yeah, she was. She had a business before in California, was new to the community, and was really interested in this particular project, and helped spearhead an initial huge fundraising project that gave us a nest egg to really begin to start, and continues through her store, Many Hands Trading, to donate every year toward the operating costs as well as special projects for the center. So that was a sort of one of those center angels, they get a lot of it. And you were involved a lot in the beginning of that too as well, just trying to keep the process moving, yeah, exactly, so that it gets.
But and it's so fascinating because the Many Hands Trading store, I mean, she started very little, and now it's the biggest store in downtown, right?
It's really huge,
And so she has in her store, it's all culture, right? What she has,
different
gifts
items,
and from Indonesia and all over the world. So it's fascinating to see, the extension of the culture thing goes right in the community.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and then certainly we benefit from her.
Yeah.
From the profits from her store.
Right. And then and you have cooking classes too.
Yeah, sometimes we've had cooking classes. Yeah, people offer to do that too. That's really great. So we've had them from Sri Lanka, El Salvador, Korea, Bulgaria, Costa Rica, many different places, and people have offered classes. So it's really fun. So that's one of the nicest things, that people come in and say, "What can I do?" And then we can say, "What would you like to do?" And so then they get involved in something too.
And I think now the teachers, they really appreciate that center because, that's a resource for them, for the educational part, and now with the kids, what you have to hand out for them.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a big support for them because the funding is so rough right now for them.
Well, and then I think it's really, we've gotten so many wonderful things that it's a nice way for us to be able to share those things with the community and do some outreach in the community for that. And it's also, we have a responsibility to educate everyone about sort of global connections, and so this is a really nice place to do it. And people feel comfortable here, and so I think that really helps a whole lot.
You did a great job with
the thing is, it's one of these things where everybody put in something, whatever it was, that it's simply a project that you could never possibly do alone, and it's having, and then people have ideas that none of us could have, other people would have thought about, and put those ideas in, and so by doing that, everything sort of begins to come together, and it's really
And then
wonderful.
I see all these nice fabrics where you are a fan of.
I love
textiles. So do you find that, or do you get that donated? Or
It's kind of a combination, if I find something on an any garage sale or thrift store or something, I'll end up grabbing it for the center. But also people have been donating different things for us too as well. And a lot of times they'll say, I have this, but I don't really have a place, or I don't know what to do with it. And then we have one of our volunteers who's been inventorying all the textiles and learning as much as she can about each one, and then that's really nice that we can document that and take care of those and be able to share those.
That's right. Yeah, I know you have someone who does inventory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's
great.
great. Yeah, it's been really wonderful to have that connection too as well. So she's been really doing a good job.
And you will get from me a lot of cookbooks in German.
Oh, we did already. We looked at those. Yeah, they're already. But we've already pulled those out of your pile too. So that's some things on bread and things like that. Yeah. So that's also another example that when people are leaving the area, they often will bring things to us, and then we can go through them some of the things which we found wonderful things from the things that you were donating to use in the center, or we can sell them at our annual garage sale. So we've got that nice, which turns it into money to be used at the center. So we have that nice combination. So we already snagged a few of those German cookbooks.
So that is one of the biggest fundraisers, I guess, the garage sale.
The garage sale is one, and then individual donations. The money that we get from grants is not can't cover operating costs. It covers special projects, so like the culture kits, or to buy multicultural children's literature, or to buy a new computer or something like that. So they're targeted to a particular project. But
And I heard HP was matching sometimes with
yes,
people
we
who
got-
come from different, country, they use the center.
Yeah, that's right.
HP is interested in supporting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're a qualifying organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, so we qualify for a lot of things, but we're also a qualifying organization for HP employee match and for the Oregon Cultural Trust.
Okay.
So that's
That's
our
great.
So yeah.